For those of you who were to receive this word, and you will get busy building the kingdom, you're about to see some you forgot that he did. That you don't just be giving, doing what he told you to do, walking out, and something gonna drop, and you gonna say, Lord, what is this? And he gonna say, baby girl, you forgot, but I did.
Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Time to shift, where it's for you, we don't get stuck. Time to shift, level up women, now girl get up. Time to shift, where it's for you, we don't get stuck. Time to shift, level up women, now girl get up.
That's what a shift looks like.
For those of you who were to receive this word, and you will get busy building the kingdom, you're about to see some you forgot that he did. That you don't just be giving, doing what he told you to do, walking out, and something gonna drop, and you gonna say, Lord, what is this? And he gonna say, baby girl, you forgot, but I did.
Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Time to shift, where it's for you, we don't get stuck. Time to shift, level up women, now girl get up. Time to shift, where it's for you, we don't get stuck. Time to shift, level up women, now girl get up.
That's what a shift looks like.
For those of you who were to receive this word, and you will get busy building the kingdom, you're about to see some you forgot that he did. That you don't just be giving, doing what he told you to do, walking out, and something gonna drop, and you gonna say, Lord, what is this? And he gonna say, baby girl, you forgot, but I did.
Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Time to shift, where it's for you, we don't get stuck. Time to shift, level up women, now girl get up. Time to shift, where it's for you, we don't get stuck. Time to shift, level up women, now girl get up.
That's what a shift looks like.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Monday, it's Strategies for Success, and we're testing our 11 a.m. Central Time. Hey, you know what I want you to do? I want you to love the broadcast. I want you to hashtag live and tell me where you're watching from. I want you to tag somebody. I want you to grab your notebook. We're going to be talking about a message that I shared with Inner Circle. We just came from the gathering. It was an amazing, amazing time. During that time, we prayed, we studied, we learned, we invested in crypto. Good morning, Pastor Antonio. Good morning, Courtney. I see you. Thank you, guys. First two people that tell me that you're here. So we got Arkansas and Maryland in the house. Let's see who else is coming on. So we're going to be talking today just really about not letting fear drive. It's so important not to let fear drive. And one of the reasons that fear drives is because we're ignorant. We're ignorant of it. It's like, if you don't know how to swim, then getting in a pool can be fearful. But if you actually know how to swim, then getting in a pool isn't fearful because you have the skill set to be able to do it. So we have Athena. Good morning, Athena. We've got Don from DMV. Glad you made it home. We've got Apostle Bishop Robin Stevens in the house. We got my CEO, the best CEO on the planet, Crystal. Girl, I almost said Pastor Crystal. Maybe that's foreshadowing. Who knows? Anyway, we're just super excited. And, I really want to help as many people as I can. I said today that this morning on my post, I said that I have been called. I have been called to raise an army of women, which doesn't mean it's just women. I have been called to raise an army of women. Hey, Sabrina, we missed you. Athena invested in crypto after last week's class. Good. Yes. Good morning, Julie. Missed you. I've been called to raise up a group of women who are an army, who are committed to obeying God, committed to being led by the Spirit, and committing to using their wealth in order to be a weapon against the kingdom of darkness. What do I mean by that? I mean that when we have wealth and we can help rescue girls from sex trafficking. I was telling some of my friends the other day that there are literally projects that you can go in with, where there are ministries that go in and buy people out of sex trafficking or buy people out of slavery and set them up. That's being a weapon against darkness. When you can help someone who's in a position of domestic violence and you can help them get out safely, that is being a weapon against the kingdom of darkness. When you can buy groceries for someone, that is a weapon against darkness. When you can help someone get their medicine, that is a weapon against darkness. When you can help kids go to school, like our church has a scholarship fund, that is a weapon against darkness. When you can go to a restaurant and be led by the Spirit to bless the socks off of the waitress, like our tribe did yesterday, Pastor Strickland, when they went out, man, that is a weapon against darkness, right? And so if I'm going to be a weapon against darkness, yes, I have to pray against those things, but it's also beneficial to have the resources. Some of you might not like this, but just hear my heart on it. One of the reasons that we have to pray so much for money is because we don't have it. Because if you have money, you don't have to pray for money. If somebody calls you and their lights are about to be shut off, you don't have to pray for the money if you have the money. You only need to pray about how the Lord wants you to help. Do you see the difference in that? And so I want to talk about not letting fear drive, because here's kind of what is happening that I'm seeing. I'm seeing that a lot of women are waking up and they're saying, yeah, I want to know what's going on with crypto, but they're so afraid of making a mistake. And I need you to get fear out of the driver's seat, because I need you to understand that as within any investment, there is an opportunity of loss. That is the reason that I say over and over again that you cannot invest more than you can afford to lose. But I do need you to rethink what it is that you can afford to lose, because here's what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is women who are struggling to invest $50 in crypto because they're like, I don't really get Bitcoin. I don't really get XRP. I don't really get HBAR. I don't really get these coins, but you would spend $50 at Target without flinching. And I need you to understand that that's not a money issue. Because we're not talking about you coming out today and investing $10,000. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about using things like, hey, I usually go to Starbucks every day. I'm only going to go to Starbucks 3 days a week. The other days of the week, I am going to take the percent. I'm going to take the $6 that I use, and I'm going to take that $6 and I am going to buy some H bar every day, or I'm going to buy H bar one day and Bitcoin one day and XRP the next day. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in the game. And so can you please tell your neighbor, don't let fear drive? Because if you let fear drive, you're going to miss what's happening. And I said this because I'm a spades player. And one of the things that I learned when I was a freshman at the University of Arkansas, getting my tail whooped by these master spade players, is that if you study long, you're going to study wrong. And so people are saying things like, I don't know what to invest in. And some of it is that sometimes you just run the play. We talked a lot this weekend about running the play. What does that mean? That means if the people who have made money in Bitcoin say, hey, the top 3 coins you need to have is Bitcoin, XRP, and fill in the blank, then what you do is take your $20 and put it in Bitcoin, take your $10 tomorrow, put it in XRP, Ethereum. Those are the probably top 3 coins that people are talking about right now. And as you're doing that, you then go read the white papers. What's a white paper? Every cryptocurrency that is real and legitimate has a white paper. You can go to Bitcoin and you can learn about the usage of Bitcoin, why it's digital gold. You can go and learn about Ethereum. You can go and learn about XRP. But here's my concern for a lot of people is that some of you are so busy studying that you don't realize that we're in a cycle. And this cycle is we're in a current, depending on who you ask, we're entering into a bull market. We're in a bull market. But what happens is that the cycle runs for 4 years. And so what typically happens in situations like this, which is actually what I saw happen in 2021, I just didn't know it was what was happening, is that people sit back and they don't participate. And then when something goes way up, then they get in then because they don't know that it's about to drop because it operates in a bear bull market. So it's an 800-day cycle. Now, here is where I want to challenge everybody to grow up, is that every time I say something about crypto, somebody comes in my comments and they say, I want to learn. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If you want to learn, you have to study. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to help you learn how to participate in your own rescue. So here's what I mean. This will now be my 4th, 5th video on crypto. There are millions of videos out there. There are articles. There are podcasts. And so telling me that you need to learn every time I mention it, the last 2 people who said to me, I need to learn, I said, have you watched any of the videos? Did you get the free guide? Did you go and study? Because if you're unwilling to do that, it seems to me that often in the body of Christ, we believe we need to learn means that we go to sleep, put the Bible in our ear or the Bible under our pillow, and we're going to wake up and understand everything it is to understand. No. We've got to participate in our own growth. And so if you want to learn, I need everybody to say this. We got 53 people on the line. I appreciate you sharing. Hey, Dexter. Hey, LaTanya. Hey, Kim. Hey, Natasha. Hey, Courtney. Man, Sabrina. Hey, Tanisha. Listen, if you want to learn, you have to study. Why? Because no one is going to care more about your financial future than you are. If you don't have money for Christmas presents, no one cares more about that than you do. If you don't have $1,000 in your savings, no one cares more about that than you do because it directly impacts your life. So you would be remiss to sit back and wait on someone to spoon feed you the information. Now, what I have tried to do, you can go to YouTube. We put them in a playlist to give the first 3 videos where I'm just basically saying, here's what crypto is. Here are the things that you need to understand. All of those different things, right? But ultimately, there is so much more information out there than the information that I have. And the information that I am able to give to you, it is because I am spending 3-4 hours a day listening to the experts talk about it and then finding a way to chew it into smaller bites to give it to you. But if you're saying things like, man, I really want to take advantage of this crypto thing, it would be a total blessing to my family if we could make an additional $10,000. You don't have time to wait on me to spoon feed you the information. You got to get in the game and then begin to come. I so appreciate the people who are coming back to me saying, did you see this article about XRP? Literally, when we were at the gathering, somebody walked up to me and said, did you see this article about XRP? Amazon is going to take XRP in the future. Oh, wow, guys. Well, we need to pay attention to that. Bitcoin is going up. We need to pay attention to that. So I want to just talk to you guys a little bit about shifting from problem to opportunity, the wealth gap, and the soul shift to cryptocurrency. Is this making sense to you guys? Because it is so my heart to see us have resources for the kingdom, but also to see you not struggle in your own personal financial life. And maybe some of you have enough for yourself, but you don't have enough to help all of the people that you feel that you are called to help. And so it's so important. So what I need you to do, here is your assignment. I'm going to give you your assignment early. Courtney, drop it in the comments. Everybody needs to go read about the 800-day crypto cycle. You need to understand that, so you can begin to understand what's happening in the cycle. So that's our assignment. Let's go learn about the 800-day cycle. Let's go listen to the different experts and figure out where we are. Because yes, the prices are of things, the prices for a lot of things are fluctuating. But like, for example, let's see, what's Bitcoin right now? So right now, Bitcoin is it's $107,000, right? So if it were me and I wanted to understand, I would go, and right now, people all on TikTok and on YouTube are going to be explaining where we are. They're going to be explaining whether they think we're going to dip or not, right? But you also need to keep in mind that it's 100, it just dropped to 106,966, that it's 106 right now, but their prediction is that it's going to be 150,000 a coin by the end of this bull cycle. So yes, we would like it to drop back to 99. It would be dope if it dropped back to 95. But we need to understand what's happening. And some of that means just like, man, listen, I just spent $50 at Target today. Let me go ahead and get my $50 in. And if it drops, I'll add 100. But I think that this is so important. So I get up in the morning because I really got like top 3 cryptos that I'm watching. Top 4 cryptos that I'm watching. I'm watching Bitcoin. Why? Bitcoin is digital gold. I just was saying to Edwin this morning that they're literally talking about how Bitcoin may replace gold as the standard, as the reserve in our nations, not just America, in our nations. And I was saying to Edwin that I don't really understand that, because in my mind, gold is real, right? And Bitcoin, not so much. Like, we can put our hands on gold, we can't put our hands on Bitcoin. Does that make sense? And so Edwin says to me, he says, you have to remember that anything only has value because people value it. So if people begin to value marbles more than they value gold, gold could end up being worthless. In fact, it's one of the reasons that diamond De Beers, the people who stole the diamonds from the people that they really belong to, the Africans, it's one of the reasons that they filter out how many diamonds can hit the marketplace, because if they didn't, they would lose their value. So we have to understand that's our responsibility to get a macroeconomic position, to begin to understand how this thing connects and this thing connects, right? So then Edwin was saying to me, Sean, he was saying to me, Sean, you just need to understand that gold is so valuable because so many people want it, right? Then Bitcoin becomes so valuable because more people want it. So, like, let's say that Bitcoin is going to go to 150. They say that they believe in the next market that it's going to go to 250. But they ultimately say because there is a limited supply of Bitcoin that it's going to end up being $1 million a coin, right? It's going to be $1 million a coin. Okay, well, if you think about the fact that Bitcoin used to be $1, then getting it at $100,000 seems like, oh, well, I can't get near as much. You can't. But if you get some now and it eventually becomes 250, it eventually becomes $1 million, then at $1 million, wouldn't you be glad that you started buying at 100K? And that's why we have to understand the entire perspective. So yes, Kimberly, they're saying Bitcoin is digital gold. So like gold, like we have gold and silver, and we consider gold to have the highest value, and gold costs more than silver in our currency. It would it, in our currency. I don't think it's currency. In our precious metals, gold, right? Then silver. So then we understand that in crypto, they have identified gold, Bitcoin as digital gold. And so it's really interesting. And all I'm saying to you is that, guys, if you can take your time to come and listen to me and know that I'm learning this as I go and trust me enough to listen to me, then you can trust yourself enough to go out and look at the different information and understand. So this is not financial advice, and I'm not your financial advisor, but here is my answer because people keep asking me this. If I was only going to invest in 4 coins right now, not expecting to be a millionaire next year, but if I was just going to invest in 4 coins, I would invest in Bitcoin. I would invest in Ethereum. I would invest in XRP, and I would invest in HBAR. And then my bonus coin is a coin called SUI, SUI. Those are the coins that I would invest in. And what that would look like for me is that if I had $100, I would take 25 of those dollars and I would put it in Bitcoin. And how I would split the other 75, if I had $100 a week that I could invest or $100 a month that I could invest, I would take the 25 and I would put it in Bitcoin, and the others would be based on what the prices were. That's what I would do. But you got to decide what you would do. Well, where did I get that from? I got that from praying for a strategy and then going and listening to people who have made lots of money in crypto say that is some formula of their, that is real close to what most of those people say. So I just run the play. So when I'm talking to you, I'm not asking you to follow my play. I'm telling you, this is the play that I am learning. And if you don't think it's the play, then go out there and do the research and find the play. All right, questions, thoughts? Carolyn Hayes said, I bought $1 in Bitcoin and I was so proud of my $1 because I'm about to invest more in these coins in Jesus' name. Amen. That's so good. Listen, this is so cool. Did you guys know this? Did you guys know that you can send Bitcoin and receive Bitcoin in Cash App? You left off HRP, Courtney, because Sui's kind of my bonus. So, thanks, Courtney. Oh, what did I just say before I said that? Oh, So you can send and exchange Bitcoin in Cash App. So I said to everybody at the gathering, I said, listen, because people started bringing me cash, and I was like, hey, don't sow cash into me. Send me Bitcoin. Why? Because that helps in my position. That helps in my position. So we got to remember, let's talk about this. The wealth gap is real, and Black women feel it deeply. I know everybody here who follows me isn't Black. I know that everybody here who follows me is a woman. All are welcome, but we know that my bend is towards empowering Black women. You're welcome. As long as you don't mind that a lot of my conversation is centered with Black women in mind. You're welcome. You a man, you Asian, you white, you're welcome. But my conversation is centered towards Black women. So a lot of my stuff, if you fit in there, you fit in. But that is my assignment. All right. So let's talk from problem to opportunity, and then we'll get out your way. The wealth gap and the soul shift to cryptocurrency. So the wealth gap is real, and Black women feel it deeply. How many of you can relate to that? We've experienced generational barriers, systematic discrimination, and limited access to wealth building tools. Those things have kept us from thriving financially. But the truth is that those barriers are not bigger than God's promise. So yes, we have very real barriers, but they are not, thank you, Sanitra, but they are not bigger than God's promises. So then we go and we look at God's promise in Deuteronomy 8:18. Can y'all share this with somebody? Can y'all tag somebody with this? Because I think this is where the disconnect is in the church. I made a post earlier today, and I said, not only do you don't just need prophecy for wealth, you need a plan for wealth. So what happens is that a lot of people get turned off from prophecy because they go, there wasn't a plan. That's not God. No. Once we get a prophecy requires our personal participation. You ought to write that down. Every personal prophecy requires our personal participation. So if you've been praying for wealth, you've been praying for increase, you've been standing on Deuteronomy 8:18, right? And then someone comes and says, consider crypto, consider the stock market, consider whatever the things is that we're considering today. This year it's crypto. Somebody comes and says that. Why do you then immediately exclude yourself out of it when you have been praying for wisdom to break through? And I think that kind of, to me, is the disconnect for the body. Does that make sense? Because even in my own community, people are like, in the beginning, we've all grown and become, I don't want to learn about crypto. Why not? Is it because you've decided how God is going to give you wealth? Is it because you have decided that it would be through your business? Is it because you have decided that you're going to win the lottery, or somebody's just going to walk up to you and give you $1 million? Are you missing the opportunity? Because you're like, how many times is it like, Lord, 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 I need help. I need financial help. Then I come on here and I say, hey, guys, there was a cycle where I was like, hey, guys, you need to put your hand to something. And people are like, oh, that's not for me. How is it not for you if that's what you're praying for? And one of the things, I'm going to tell you this, all y'all not going to do it, but it's fine. I'm just going to tell you this. One of the principles that Pastor Strick and I live by, that has absolutely changed our lives, is that if we don't know the answer, in our case, so it's actually not just for our spiritual parents, but for years, we've had this rule that if we don't know what to do in an area in our ministry or in our marriage, and we call our spiritual parents, we're going to do what they say, even if what they say doesn't make sense. Why? Because if we knew what to do, we wouldn't have had to ask anybody. So what I'm challenging you to do is to ask yourself, am I praying and asking God for help? Because it's like the people, like they always tell that story about that man who was in a flood and he climbed on the top of his building and he was saying, God, God save me. God, God save me. God saved me. God saved me. And he sent somebody here in a boat, and the man wouldn't get no boat. He's like, I'm waiting on God to save me. Then he sent somebody in a canoe, and he wouldn't get in the canoe. And then he sent somebody in a helicopter, and he wouldn't get in the helicopter, and then he drowned to death. And then when he got to the Lord, he was like, Lord, you didn't come for me. The Lord was like, yeah, I sent a boat, I sent a canoe, and I sent a helicopter. So he sent business opportunities. Some of you didn't take them. That's great. He loves you so much, he sent another opportunity. He sent the stock market. Some of you didn't take it. He goes, I love you. I'm not going to leave you out here. Now we're sending another opportunity, crypto. But that's why we need to understand the 800-day cycle. Because if you show up here in a bear cycle talking about, somebody sent me a message the other day and they were like, I remember when you were talking about crypto back in 2021. Can you tag me in that video? And I said, no, it's irrelevant now. Because the Bible says the sons of Issachar were wise because they discern the times. Ask your neighbor, do you know what time it is? Ecclesiastes says to everything there is a season. Do you know what season we're in? And I was telling Crystal the other day, one of the things that's so, the truth of it is that my frustration comes because I care so much. I care that people struggle. I care that almost every day I get a message from some woman who is having some financial challenge. But if you don't discern the time, somebody reached out to me and I'm watching all of these people and I'm just like, here's the problem with not having a whole view, right? Let's use something from the Bible. Is it true that God told Abraham to take Isaac to sacrifice him? Yes. Yes. But is it also true that when he laid Isaac down, that God said to him, don't kill him, there's a ram in the bush? I believe that what happens for a lot of people is that they are delayed in their obedience, and then they try to go back to the thing that God said instead of what God is saying. So I'm just going to give you some examples. So people are reaching out to me now and they're saying, oh, you know what? God told me to be a coach 5 years ago. How should I get started? Well, I can tell you that based on the season, I don't think this is the season to start a coaching business. Why would you say this isn't a season to start a coaching business? I would say it's not a season to start a coaching business if your primary clientele is people who make under $100,000, because we have seen how inflation has impacted them. Does that mean that it's never going to be a season to jump into coaching again? Nope, that's not what it means. It means, is this that? We tell your neighbor, say, we got to know the season. That's why I'm challenging you to go and study. Hey, Octavian, go and study the 800-day cycle, because you need to understand where we are. So when I'm seeing people out here and they're like encouraging people, especially Black women, to jump into business right now, and we have an incoming administration who is already working to undermine everything that has favored Black women to begin with. I'm like, is this really the right time for that? What's the positioning? Am I saying it can't work? I'm not saying it can't work. But even if you think about Joseph, when Joseph, God gave Joseph a plan based on Pharaoh's dream, and it was to store the grain for so many years so there would be enough. Understand that if Joseph tries to store in a year, and when it's in the famine, now we got a problem. And honestly, some of you are frustrated because you are moving out of sync with God. And some of you are moving out of sync with God. Go ahead and get delivered today. Have a soul shift. When it's you could just say soul shift. Some of you are moving out of sync with God because you are stubborn. But the root of your stubbornness is that your fear drives you. Kim says, where do we find the 800-day cycle? Search. Google. Search. Because you guys are smart. And you guys can learn. You Google, you read. And why am I so big on this? Because you should never, ever, ever put your freedom in someone else's hands. The stuff that I'm telling you, like I just said to you guys, hey, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, HBAR, and SUI are my favorite coins. When we show up here next time, you should know about those coins. You should know about those coins. You should be able to say, you know what, Pastor Sean, I know you said you really like SUI, but have you looked at so-and-so coin? And I know you can do it. I know you can do it because you keep up with different shows. I know you can do it because you keep up with different church gossip. I know you can do it because when it's time to follow the trail to find out what's going on with Remy and Papoose or Bishop Jakes or Jay-Z, you can watch enough videos to get to that. You can do this. Put it in the comments. Say, I can do this. You can do this. So I come here with the heart to synthesize the information to give you a starting point. But I'm just going to tell you this, guys, tomorrow morning, I'm leaving to go to Vegas to Saturday. You out your mind if you don't learn nothing about crypto for the 5 days I'm gone. You can't want me to care about your brokenness more than you care. You can't be more interested in being entertained and knowing the scoop on things that's none of your darn business. It's so funny. I was talking to, we got a good group of friends. We're super diverse, all of these different things. And one of our friends, family, they've more than friends, our family. Valley comes to me and he says, Pastor Sean, what do you think about those orbs? They got those orb drones, whatever, that's over New Jersey, New York, whatever. And I said, I personally think that they're a distraction. And I'm too committed right now to helping women build wealth to figure it out. Now, if they put one over Arkansas, then I'd have to stop and pay attention. But right now, I got to focus on the assignment. As Chase used to say, I got to focus on my focus. Some of you are too easily distracted, which is what we talked about in the gathering. God gives you a play to run and then you're distracted. And some of you are like, you know what, man, in order to invest in crypto in this season, I wouldn't be able to get my family as much as I wanted them for Christmas. I'm not going to be like other people. I think it's a big deal to get my kids something for Christmas. My kids grown. I still think it's a big deal to get them something for Christmas. Ain't nobody going to never make me feel bad about that. But here's what I know, that the years that we made a decision to sacrifice, the sacrifice allowed us to be in the place that we didn't have to fret over Christmas. Some of you are at a prime opportunity that if you will do something this year, you will be in a better situation next year. But if you do the same thing this year that you have done the past 15 years, you're going to be in the same situation. You can see people from Inner Circle who keep saying, run the play. That's what we kept saying all weekend. Run the play. Run the play. This is what I said. I don't know what that orb is, but let me tell you something. I don't care for a number of reasons. If it's aliens, what we gonna do about it? We don't have nothing to just let us float in the sky like that. What we gonna do about it? Do you have an alien shooting weapon? I don't. So if it's gonna be the end, I'm gonna go to heaven, right? What you gonna do about it? So what I'm going to do is run the play. But I personally think a lot of the stuff they leak in media is to entertain us, distract us, and make us fearful so that we miss what they're doing. Y'all remember last week, those of you, right, I'm going to buy stuff for my kids forever. I'm going to be 100. My kids going to be in their 70s. I'm going to be buying them stuff. Probably stuff that they don't need because I'm a giver. I love to give. But I'm saying that there were times when we cut back and did something differently to be in the position that we are now. Y'all remember last week when I told y'all, me and Octavia, we were in the chat, I believe it was last Monday, and we were talking about XRP was dipping. I think it may have been Tuesday because that was the second day that it dipped. Anyway, one day last week. And I said, I think they're doing this on purpose. I think they're doing this on purpose. What do I mean? I think that the whales, I think that people begin to realize that crypto is here to stay, that there's going to be a digital currency, that our world is changing. And I was like, I believe that they are manipulating the market to get the small fish like you and I to leave. And I made a decision that I would let that thing go down to zero before I would let them scare me into leaving. Because they understand it now. And so then you come out and you see things like over the last couple of days, like BlackRock has allocated 2% of their wealth to Bitcoin. So that's why we read. And I keep saying more and more and more. I understand why Warren Buffett says that pretty much all he does is read all day, because then you start saying, this is how this thing goes together. And this is how this thing goes together. And that's like, you need to know this is a big week in finance. It is a big week in finance. Number one, we're going to find out about interest rates on Wednesday. I think on Friday or Saturday, we're going to learn about GDP. All of those things are going to move the market up and down based on people's emotions. That's why we can't be emotional. We have to run the play. That's why I have a play that says 25% goes to Bitcoin. And then the rest, the other 75%, is divided among those coins. But see, if we don't understand that, and then I would not be surprised if on Wednesday, no, you got to read world news. And I would not be surprised on Wednesday if they did not come out something that was some really blackety black gossip, some really dumb Trump stuff. Why? Because they want you looking over here while they run the play over there. So if we just run the play, if your play is just every time somebody sends me a cash app, I'm going to take half of it and immediately buy Bitcoin with it. Every time somebody sends me Apple Pay, I'm going to take 10% of it and put it in XRP. You have ways to get there, but you got to be committed to getting there. You got to be committed to getting there. All right. Thoughts, questions? I have other stuff. Let me say this. Some of this stuff I've said before, but I do want to say some of it, right? Look at all the people. People say they tell their fitness students this. People say Dawn say she tell her first aid students this. You know, when I'm teaching people about managing their thinking, feeling cycle, I tell them that. When we talk about walking by faith and not by sight, it's you've got to learn to focus on the play. What's the play? No, Elisa's right. About every 14 days, they come out with something. Our timeline is filled. We all distracted about stuff that don't have nothing to do with us. We all got opinions. And I'm going to say this because I keep saying this. Everybody in Inner Circle probably know what I'm about to say. At some point, one of the ways that I trained myself out of some of these distractions is I would say, you too broke to have this conversation. Baby, I ain't got time to be arguing about how millionaires are getting what's happening with them. Child, I'm trying to join the ranks. I don't have time for that. So here's why I love cryptocurrency. I love cryptocurrency because unlike traditional banks and financial systems that have historically excluded Black communities, cryptocurrency puts the power back in your hands if you learn it, if you use it. If you learn it and if you use it, it puts the power back in your hand. It allows you to store, send, and invest money without the barriers of credit score, loan rejections, and gatekeepers, which is the reason that I believe that the country wants it. The government wants it because at the end of the day, right now, they're able to control people by like how many times we were talking to somebody the other day about we were talking to our friend and she was talking about how long her husband's business had been at this bank, and then when they asked for a line of credit, the bank was like, we need to pull a hard inquiry on you so you can loan my money and I can bring my dollars here, but then when I say that I need something to you, you say no. We are in the middle of the beginning. I don't want to say middle. We are in the beginning stages of a y'all still here? Power in the whole house went out. Whole house. We back though. If I was a conspiracy theorist, I would be like, maybe somebody don't want y'all to know something, but maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it was just coincidence. Maybe somebody don't want black women to know something. Maybe not. You already know they always listening anyway. Maybe they don't. Maybe. Okay, where were we? Tell me where we were. So cryptocurrency is leveling the playing field. It doesn't matter what your credit score is or what neighborhood you grew up in. What matters is your willingness to learn and take action. No. Are you willing to take action? So we can see major companies and industries are already adopting it. Oh, we are in the we are in the beginning stages of a digital revolution. Just like the Industrial Revolution changed things, we are in the beginning stages. So, yes, things may be higher than they were, just like my illustration that Bitcoin used to be under a dollar and now it's $100,000. But if in 2030 it goes to $1 million, wouldn't you be glad that you got in at $100,000? Because if you just bought $100 a month from now till 2030, look at what you would have. Look at what would happen for you. That's why I'm a big dollar cost average girl, which means I just set aside some. That's how I buy my stocks. I mean, we do make big purchases of stocks, but we mainly just say, here's how much money we set aside every month. And now that's what I'm doing with crypto. Now with crypto, I'm doing it a little faster because we don't have as much time as we do with stocks. So with crypto, it's like every week. It's every time some unexpected money comes into my hands that I don't need to live my life. And one of the things that kind of just makes me sad for the church is that we're always prophesying about new things, but we're always the slowest people to move. Why are we the slowest people to move? Because of fear. We say things like, oh, I can't learn this. You can learn this. Put in the comments, I can learn this. It's a lie from the pit of hell that you can't learn this. You can learn this. What do I want for Christmas? Two things I want for Christmas. For my kids to really, really walk with the Lord. I mean, be on fire, sold out for Jesus. And money for crypto or crypto. You can learn this. So I hold you accountable to study and research because I know you're smart. And I know that whatever you don't know in your natural skill set, friend, you got the Holy Ghost. Somebody say, yes, Holy Ghost. And the Holy Ghost will teach you all things. The Bible says, Jesus said, the promise is he will lead you into all truth. So that's why when you ask me how to find something that I Googled, I am going to challenge you to go and Google it. Because what if I stop doing this tomorrow? Don't put your financial future in my hands. You've already seen that the government doesn't care about you. You've already seen that your job doesn't care if you live paycheck to paycheck. You've already seen that. It is now time for you to partner with the Holy Ghost and take your power. It's time for you to level the playing field. It's time for you to position yourself now so you can reap the benefits later. Brenda said, I'm thinking about only doing one cruise this year because I need more money for crypto. Those are the decisions that people make. Man, years ago, somebody told me this and it changed my life. It says, if you are willing to do what most people won't, if you are willing to do for 3 years what most people won't do, you can live better than most people the rest of your life. Now, I've been researching. Again, I'm not an expert here. I'm just really a kid who's out here getting the information, coming back and sharing it with you. Here's what they've been saying. They've been saying that just like it's harder to become a millionaire with Bitcoin now. Why? Because it takes a higher entry point, right? If you got Bitcoin when it was $100 and just held on to it, Pastor Strick was talking about how he had 30 Bitcoins. And he sold them when they got to $900. Well, if he had known and just held on to them, so now it's more difficult to become a millionaire with Bitcoin. But that doesn't mean it's not more cryptocurrencies. But as more and more people get into it, hold on, I want to find something for y'all. So on December 21st, there was this article by Bitwise, Bitwise. And these are their predictions. Now, understand that when they're predicting based on information. They're not just gambling. They're not just pulling from the hip. They're looking at the market, right? Listen to what they're predicting. Prediction number 1, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana will hit new all-time highs with Bitcoin trading above $200,000. So they're saying, let me just read it to y'all instead of trying to paraphrase it. It says 2024 was a monumental year for crypto. Crypto prices soared to new all-time highs. Spot Bitcoin ETF saw the most successful ETF launch of all time, and pro-crypto politicians won big in Washington. But we will see even brighter things ahead for 2025. 2025 will usher in the golden age of crypto. Golden age of crypto. So here's a study note. What we would now go do is we would now go and research what is the golden age of crypto, because we want to know more information, right? Here are 10 predictions for the year ahead. Please note, as with all predictions, these are not guarantees, but represent our best informed estimate. The future is complex and conditional. Whether these pan out exactly as written will depend on many complicated factors, noting nothing that follows is investment advice. But they give us these 10 predictions. You still here? Let me know if you're still here. Prediction number 1, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana will hit new all-time highs. Bitcoin trading above 200,000. It's on Bitwise, Bitwise investments. Prediction number 2, Bitcoin ETFs will attract more flows in 2025 than they did in 2024. Prediction number 3 is incredibly important. Coinbase will surpass Charles Schwab as the most valuable brokerage in the world, and its stock will top 700 a share. That tells us 2 things. So Charles Schwab is where stocks, EFTs, all that stuff is held. They are predicting that Coinbase is going to become is going to surpass Charles Schwab as the most valuable brokerage in the world. That tells us we're going to digital currency. And it tells us, it says, and its stock will top 700 per year. So if it were me, and it's me, I'm only telling you what I'm going to do. Okay? I'm only telling you what I'm going to do. So then that says to me, oh, Sean, make sure that when you're investing in the stock market, that you're also acquiring you some Coinbase. Prediction number 4, 2025 will be the year of the crypto IPO, with at least 5 crypto unicorns going public in the US. Prediction number 5, tokens launched by AI agents will spearhead a meme coin mania even bigger than in 2024. What does that tell me? Meme coins go make some money. So I need to start finding, and I'm going to put over here and I'm going to start researching meme coins. I'm going to pay attention. Prediction number 7, Coinbase will enter the S&P 500 and MicroStrategy will enter the NASDAQ 100, adding crypto exposure to nearly every U.S. investor portfolio. Tell your neighbor they already know. They already know. They already know. People like, am I late to crypto? You not late, but they already know. MicroStrategy, in case you don't know, I believe is owned by Michael Saylor, and Michael Saylor has been stocking Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin through the company. They already know. Prediction 8, The U.S. Department of Labor will relax its guidance against crypto in 401k plans, enabling billions of dollars to flow into crypto assets. They already know. Prediction number 9. Stable coins will double to 400 billion as the U.S. passes long-awaited stablecoin legislation. Prediction 10. The value of tokenized real-world assets will surpass 50 billion as Wall Street's embrace of crypto intensifies. And they gave us a bonus prediction. In 2029, tell your neighbor, you got 4 years for this one. In 2029, Bitcoin will overtake the 18 trillion gold market and trade above 1 million per Bitcoin. That's their predictions. That's their predictions. That's their predictions. I just dropped the article. If you can see in the comments, I just dropped it. Y'all, we got hints. They're telling us where they're going because they know most people are going to be too distracted to follow. They're telling us. You mean to tell me they're now going to have a stable coin? They're now predicting that Coinbase is going to overtake Charles Schwab. They're now going to allow 401ks. And I said to Edwin, I said today they announced, because I get up and I just read all the articles. Today they announced, where is it? Anyway, there's something they announced today, and I was just like, man, the writing is on it's on the wall, it's in the sky, it's in the grass. All right, I'm getting ready to go, but do y'all have any questions before we go? Y'all make a list of the things that we need to do. Man, this is crazy. So you may be thinking, Pastor Sean, I don't have a $5. But what's $5 a week from now to 2029? Scroll up. Joyce, scroll up and get it. I dropped the article. Scroll up and get it. And if you can't see it on YouTube, come to my Facebook page and get it. I did it on, you know what? You may not be able to see it because I did it on my private page. Let me switch over. I'm going to drop it over there. It's by Bitwise Investments. Well, that's weird. Oh, that's weird. It won't let me. I don't have any specific. That's a good question. You can go to my Sean Dennis page and get it, guys. I don't know why, but it won't let me put it on my Sean Strickland page while I'm live. Tanisha just asked, what podcast do I listen to? I don't listen to anybody enough to share. I have one guy that by the end of the week that I might share, but I need to listen to some more. I just go out there and listen. I'm checking, do we really need a cold wallet? I think at some point you need a cold wallet. I have a cold wallet. I don't really keep my stuff in it. But I think about that every day if I should. At some point, I will move the stuff that I'm going to keep there, though, because we can see that they move it off, right? Courtney posted it again. It's the crypto. I'm going to put it on the screen so y'all can see it. Bitwiseinvestments.com, crypto marker insights, the year of head, 10 crypto predictions. Again, now, all I'm saying to you is that these people write for a living and they want people to respect their views and what they say. They're not out here just giving information, but what they are aware of is that most of us are not going to do anything with it. Most of them not going to do anything with it. We go do a lot with it, right, guys? We go do a lot with it. All right, anything else? Because I'm about to go, because I think that this is I think we're having a great day, and I think that there are some great opportunities. So we're going to make a list. What we're going to do is we're going to research. We're going to look at these several things. I hope you noticed that they talked about Solana. I do have some Solana, but when people ask me my top, it's not in my top holdings. Again, this is not financial advice. Tell me what your takeaway is for today. We'll end with that. And thank you for sticking around when we got kicked off. But tell me what your takeaway is for today. And that's how we're going to end today. I will say, Brenda, if you're going to buy cold storage, you should buy it directly from Ledger. Like almost everybody I know is like Ledger, Ledger, Ledger. Don't buy from Amazon, because they talk about if you buy from any second party that they could have put something on it that would allow them to be able to steal your crypto. So if you're going to buy cold storage, then buy it directly. And a lot of people use Ledger Nano. I think that's what I have. Go buy that one. Buy it directly from Ledger, not from anybody else. So everybody, do not buy a Ledger from anybody other than the company. So Brenda said we need to buy stock in Coinbase, which is so funny because I bought like a few shares, 3, like on Thursday. Like Wednesday, our event started Friday. I bought it Thursday, right? Research for myself and run the play. Yes. Run the play and don't get distracted. Research and implement. Now, when we talk next time, guys, I don't know that, I'll be honest with y'all, I do not know that I'm going to pull off a live while I'm gone or that I'm even going to try. But when we talk next Monday, I want you to be able to give me a ranking of your top 5 cryptos. I want you to be able to say, here's what I like. Here's why I like it. You may come and say, you know what, Pastor Sean, listen, I know that you really said that you like Sui, but let me tell you what, I'm finna go over here and really rock with so-and-so because this is what I know about it. Because what I would like to get to the point is that we could do, I don't know, maybe a Zoom or something where people are also coming to share. That's what Inner Circle is going to be doing tonight. They were divided into groups. And I'm going to tell you, next Monday, I'm going to open up $1 Million Expert, and $1 Million Expert is going to be focused around honoring God, a mindset for wealth building, specifically with the emphasis of crypto, because we at that point will have the rest of the year really before it's going to start dropping down. And I really want to maximize in that. I can give y'all this right now. Even though my event sold out last year, sold out at $797, this year we're going to do it for the public for $297. You say, Pastor, why would you do that? I am so convinced that crypto is a part of our path. I don't want money to keep anybody out the room who wants to be there. That's how convinced I am. The people who pre-purchased tickets at last year's event, I'm sending them a refund. I'm so convinced. And I would rather be all in and wrong than double dutch, be scared to get in the game and be right. So I literally had an event last year that had over 100 something women in it, $797, and we are reducing it to $297 to be able to get as many people in the room as want to come, because I'm convinced that we have. Well, I don't have to convince y'all no more, because these people just said 2025 is going to be what? Because that's the other thing we need to study. That's what I'm going to know a lot about. The golden year of crypto. These people are talking about a golden year of crypto. What we do not have time to be talking about is false prophets and who's a Jezebel. We ain't got time for that. Why? Because money is a weapon. And as things get tougher, people are going to need more help. And if we're going to be an army that's going to be raised up to use our wealth as a weapon, we do not have time to focus on stupid stuff. So that's it. All right, I'm done. That's my fuss for today. So go do your homework. I'm making myself a note right now. Golden age of crypto. As soon as I get off, that is what I am going to dive into, because I'm not going to miss it. And I don't think y'all are either. And I hope I'll see y'all in my event February 6th through the 8th in Northwest Arkansas. The airport code is X and A. You could go ahead and get your ticket. So, all right. I love you guys. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.